Basically now it's just a matter of putting everything back together like we took it apart. Like I said, I'm going to just grease all this up really nice. That way I can get it apart next time. Just a light coating of grease on the threads. And then on the shaft and everywhere. So I'm just going to do that to all the bolts, put it back together. I have the top installed and the bottom. It was a real bear getting this lower one back in. I would probably try to not remove this one if you can. Just see if you can get it to go onto here. And I think it'd be better if you had to remove it to remove the top one, because over on this other side it's impossible to get your hand in there and get the bolt through and get everything lined up. So what I had to do is I lucked out. I had a bolt. It was the exact same diameter as the one that went through there. So I took that bolt and I put it on an extension with an 8mm like this. So I had this really long thing that I could stick in the hole, and that got it so I could line up all three, well, the clevis plus the hole. And then I took this out. The bolt was in there. And then I had to push the other bolt through and drive this out, but I could barely get my hands in there. I have super large hands, like double extra large. But anyway, I got it in. Now I'm going to torque everything down. This is a 10mm bolt that I used. The upper nut and the lower nut are both 44 Newton meters, and the connecting arm is 55 Newton meters. 55 Newton meters on the lower connecting arm. 14mm with an extension. This lower nut for the shock is supposed to be 44, but you can't really get any wrenches in here or anything. So I got it as tight as conceivably possible with my tiny wrenches. I'll recheck that later. That's how I did it when I took the swing arm off, and it didn't seem to be a problem. 44 for this upper shock bolt. The digital is kind of nice. The beeping's a little confusing because it beeps when you get close, and then it does a high beep when you get there. I almost rather just have like one beep or a different tone, because it's hard to watch it sometimes because the red light also lights up. So I'm learning to use this. At least on this upper mounting bolt, there's an access from the side that what I just showed you is impossible to get anything in there. The way these digital torque wrenches work is there's a strain gauge in here, and there's a wire that bends. And when the wire gets shorter or longer, it changes the resistance in the wire. And that's how they run it through a microprocessor and send it off to the display. Seems like it would be more reliable than a clicker because you just have an integrated circuit. Now I can torque the rear axle now down to 150 Newton meters. I already did it. I'm just doing this for the camera. I'm going to take it off the stand and see what that rear suspension feels like. Obviously, I won't be able to tell till I ride it, but let's just get a preliminary indication. Feels pretty good.